Yeah, Foster ripped it. I know. Give me my phone.
Please, can I record the story?
Nope.
Please.
Fine. Oh, Amelia Bedilia, your first day of work and I can't be here, but I made a list for you. You do just what the list says, said Mrs. Rogers. Mrs. Rogers got into the car with Mr. Rogers and they drove away. Do you see the dog?
Yeah.
And, yeah, and then do you see the big house? Yeah. And do you see Amelia Bedilia? Yeah, right there. Good job. My, what nice folks. I'm going to like working here, said Amelia Bedilia. You see those flowers? It's pretty. Huh? Amelia Bedilia went inside. Such a grand house. These must be rich folks. But I must get to work. Here I stand just looking, and me with a whole list of things to do. Amelia Bedilia stood there a minute longer. I think I'll make a surprise for them. I'll make lemon meringue pie. I do make good pies. What do you see in this picture? The stairs. Those are stairs. Here's a picture with flowers. Do you see anything else, Margot? Yeah, the picture with flowers. So Amelia Bedilia went into the kitchen. She put a little bit of this and a pinch of that into a bowl, and she mixed and she rolled. Soon her pie was ready to go into the oven. There, said Amelia Bedilia, that's done. See, that's the pie, and it's going to go into the oven. Now let's see what this list says. Amelia Bedilia read, change the towels in the green bathroom. Amelia Bedilia found the green bathroom. Those towels are very nice. Why change them, she thought. Then Amelia Bedilia remembered what Mrs. Rogers had said. She must do just what the list told her. Well, all right, said Amelia Bedilia. Amelia Bedilia got some scissors. She snipped a little here and a little there, and she changed those towels. You see, she's cutting it up. You guys don't ever cut up our towels, okay? You get in big trouble. Okay. There, said Amelia Bedilia. She looked at her list again. Dust the furniture. Did you ever hear tell of such a silly thing? At my house, we undust the furniture. But to each his own way. Amelia Bedilia took one last look at the bathroom. She saw a big box with the words dusting powder on it. Well, look at that, a special powder to dust with, exclaimed Amelia Bedilia. So Amelia Bedilia dusted the furniture. That should be dusty enough. My, how nice it smells.
I know.
What do you think that book is? You think that's a book of Amelia Bedilia? Oh, there's some flowers. What's that a picture of, Margot?
This.
Yeah, but what's that a picture of?
A boat.
Yeah, do you see the boat?
This.
Yeah, she put dust all over. Draw the drapes when the sun comes in, read Amelia Bedilia. She looked up, and the sun was coming in. Amelia Bedilia looked at the list again. Draw the drapes? That's what it says. I'm not much of a hand at drawing, but I'll try. So Amelia Bedilia sat right down, and she drew those drapes. Amelia Bedilia marked off about the drapes. Now what? Put the lights out when you finish in the living room. Amelia Bedilia thought about this a minute. She switched off the lights. Then she carefully unscrewed each bulb. And Amelia Bedilia put the lights out. So those things need to be aired out too, just like pillows and babies. Oh, I do have a lot to learn.
Like babies.
Babies can get smelly if they don't get some fresh air every once in a while. My pie! Exclaimed Amelia Bedilia, and she hurried to the kitchen. Just right, she said. She took the pie out of the oven and put it on the table to cool. Then she looked at the list. Measure 2 cups of rice. That's next, said Amelia Bedilia. Amelia Bedilia found 2 cups and she filled them with rice. And Amelia Bedilia measured that rice. Amelia Bedilia laughed. These folks want me to do funny things. Then she poured the rice back into the container. The meat market will deliver a steak and a chicken. Please trim the fat before you put the steak in the icebox, and please dress the chicken. When the meat arrived, Amelia Bedilia opened the bag. She looked at the steak. She looked at the steak for a long time. Yes, she said, that will do nicely. Amelia Bedilia got some lace and bits of ribbon, and Amelia Bedilia trimmed that fat before she put the steak in the icebox. Now I must dress the chicken. I wonder if she wants a he chicken or a she chicken, said Amelia Bedilia. Amelia Bedilia went right to work, and soon the chicken was finished. Amelia Bedilia heard the door open. The folks are back, she said. She rushed out to meet them. Amelia Bedilia, why are all the light bulbs outside? Asked Mr. Rogers. The list just said to put the lights out, said Amelia Bedilia. It didn't say to bring them back in. Oh, I do hope they didn't get aired too long. Amelia Bedilia, the sun will fade the furniture. I asked you to draw the drapes, said Mrs. Rogers. I did. See? Said Amelia Bedilia, and she held up her picture. So drawing the drapes, that can also mean to close the drapes. And so that's what Mrs. Rogers meant. But Amelia Bedilia thought that she meant to draw a picture of the drapes. Mr. Rogers went to wash his hands. I say, he called, these are very unusual towels. Mrs. Rogers dashed into the bathroom. Oh, my best towels, she said. Didn't I change them enough? Asked Amelia Bedilia. Mrs. Rogers went to the kitchen. I'll cook the dinner. Where's the rice I asked you to measure? I put it back in the container, but I remember it measured 4.5 inches, said Amelia Bedilia. Was the meat delivered? Asked Mrs. Rogers. Yes, said Amelia Bedilia. I trimmed the fat just like you said. It does look nice. Mrs. Rogers rushed to the icebox and she opened it. Lace and ribbons, oh dear, said Mrs. Rogers. So trimming can mean to like decorate, like trim a tree, trim a Christmas tree you'll sometimes hear. Trim a tree. Anyways. The chicken, you dressed the chicken? Asked Mrs. Rogers. Yes, and I found the nicest box to put him in, said Amelia Bedilia. Box, exclaimed Mrs. Rogers. Then Mrs. Rogers hurried over to the box and she lifted the lid. And there lay the chicken, and he was just as dressed as he could be. Isn't that a funny outfit?
Yeah.
Dressing a chicken could mean to get it ready for cooking. Is another way to say that. That's what she meant. Mrs. Rogers was angry. She was very angry. She opened her mouth. Mrs. Rogers meant to tell Amelia Bedilia that she was fired. But before she could get the words out, Mr. Rogers put something in her mouth. It was so good that Mrs. Rogers forgot about being angry. Lemon meringue pie, she exclaimed. I made it to surprise you, said Amelia Bedilia happily. So right then and there, Mr. and Mrs. Rogers decided that Amelia Bedilia must stay, and so she did. Mrs. Rogers learned to say, undust the furniture, and unlight the lights, and close the drapes, and things like that. Mr. Rogers didn't care if Amelia Bedilia trimmed all of his steaks with lace. All he cared about was having her there to make lemon meringue pie. The end. Can you turn that off now and stop recording?